Nori, wakame, and kombu. These are all Japanese seaweeds that have been used for anti-aging, hyperpigmentation, and even acne. Japanese have many words for seaweed, just like the Eskimos have for snow. So depending on the word that they are using, you would know what type of seaweed that they are referring to. Hi, my name is Christy, and I have been treating clients with hyperpigmentation, acne, and other skin conditions now for over 13 years. The first one is nori. Nori is mainly used for rolls, and most people here in America are familiar with this type of seaweed. It is used for maki. Maki means rolls, so when they say nori maki, that basically means seaweed roll. So as you can see, this one is more narrow. So this is for onigiri or rice balls. So if you look at the texture of it, it's really kind of crispy. If I tear it, you can hear the crunchy, crispy sound of it. And this is actually made from red algae. Now, the red algae actually has the highest amount of astaxanthin. If you didn't catch that video that talked about the astaxanthin, I'll put it in the links in the description below. But astaxanthin it's the king of all antioxidants. It has 6,000 times more vitamin C, and unlike vitamin C, it actually increases its potency when exposed to UV light and blue light as well as red light. Red algae also has a high amount not only of antioxidants, but it has antimicrobial and antibacterial properties. So typically Japanese will eat this as a snack, or if they are sliced really thinly, they'll put a little bit over their noodles, or just kind of like as a seasoned topping. So I'm going to take a bite of it and you'll know, if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's just like a crispy snack. Pretty crispy. So the next one is wakame, and this is most commonly found or used in miso soup. So if you've ever had miso soup, the seaweed that they're using is wakame. And that's pretty common here in California and probably most parts of the Western world. It usually comes dried, and you have to rehydrate it with water. You have to soak it, and then you cook it in liquids. And you want the texture to be slippery and slightly slimy. So the wakame, the Japanese seaweed, is brown algae. Now the wakame is also used in seaweed salad, so I brought some here as a sample. So this is Hijiki seaweed salad here. I don't know if you can see the texture right here. That's the brown algae. And there's another one here. This one is the sesame seaweed salad. It has like little red chili pepper flakes in here, sesame oil in here, so it's kind of like a sweet and spicy salad here. Now the thing about wakame is probably the most commonly in the traditional Japanese diet that they eat almost every day and at almost every meal. This type of seaweed actually has been in a lot of clinical studies, and they used it for hyperpigmentation. They did it to treat acne and even like anti-aging. So the brown algae that is most commonly eaten or consumed in the traditional Japanese diet, people are actually eating this almost every meal of the day. So if they're having their miso soup with rice, and the miso soup has the wakame in there, and then maybe at lunch they're having some of this again. And so sometimes people will have this 3 times a day. So the tannins that are found in the brown algae here in this Hijiki salad and in wakame actually contains a tannin, and what that tannin does is it actually inhibits an enzyme that breaks down the hyaluronic acid in the extracellular matrix in our skin. So the fucoxanthin, that is the brown pigment in brown algae, I don't know if you could see here, it's shown to stimulate protein that oxidizes fat and helps burn energy. So let's try to scoop that so you can kind of see that in there. Do you see the brown pigments in that? It also has shown that if you eat this regularly, it actually helps prevent obesity, diabetes, cancer, and other lifestyle related chronic diseases. And it also has iodine and tyrosine and other trace minerals, which helps regulate hormone and thyroid function, which may be related to why Japanese women typically don't really experience its little to no menopausal symptoms, such as hot flashes, little sleep, and mood swings. I know that when I was going through menopause several years ago, I didn't have any of these symptoms at all. However, I did notice that when I started to eat unhealthy, and I wasn't eating my miso soup and wakame, I did notice that I did start to get, I didn't get hot flashes, but I would get hot all of a sudden. So it may be related to that. And another thing is that when it's regulating hormones, hormones are also related to weight gain, weight loss, and maintaining weight. Okay, so the last one is kombu. This one here is dashi kombu. And if you look at the ingredients here, all it says is it's just kelp. So if you look at the texture, this is actually the thickest of all the seaweeds as far as like texture goes. So if you can kind of look at how thick it is. And it's like wakame, it does need to be rehydrated. So if you look at this one, I put it in water here. So if you look at it, look how thick this is. So this is not typically eaten alone. It's actually used, it smells like the ocean, but it typically is used for dashi and stock, or dashi. You guys would know what dashi is. It's stock or for broth, and it gives the soup, whether it's the broth for noodles or miso soup, it gives it a really savory taste, and the Japanese have a word for it, and that's umami. Okay, so if you see this particular type of seaweed is called Laminaria japonica. And so again, you can see how wide it is, and it's pretty thick. And this is the one that's most commonly used for seaweed wraps. And so it has moisturizing effects more so than hyaluronic acid, it's been shown. And also because it's wide and thick, you can easily use it, as you can see, for seaweed wraps. And it has the detoxifying effects of heavy metal. Okay, so you're supposed to like leave it on there. So you can also use it for that on there, and you can feel it. It's like really, you could feel that it has a lot of humectants in it. So I have a client, and she is really struggling with fungal acne. So she asked me about probiotics and kombucha. So kombucha, which here it basically means tea that's fermented with sugar and yeast, and it makes very good bacteria. But in Japan, that's where it originated. It's actually kombucha. And kombu is this type of seaweed, and cha for ocha is tea. So it's basically this dried seaweed tea, or kelp tea. And basically you would take this powdered form of this kelp and infuse it with green tea. And that's where the original term kombucha came from. So if you guys are finding this information interesting or helpful, please give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to let you know when our newest videos come up. Okay, so the last thing is how seaweed affects melanin production. So can you believe that there's a polysaccharide in brown algae, and it's actually, they said it was found the highest in brown algae, is, I hope I say it right, it's fucoidin. And that's a polysaccharide that's in brown algae in the seaweed that actually inhibits melanin production. Now please note, if you are sensitive to iodine, you may want to limit your exposure to these types of foods, because here is one of my clients right here. These are the pictures she texted. She reached out to me. She's been a long-time client, and she's been with me for years. When she first initially came to me, she had really bad acne. She couldn't get rid of them. we cleared up her skin and she now only has hormonal breakouts. However, since I have gone completely online and retired my shop, she was still using the same products, but now, as you can see, her breakouts got worse. She texted these pictures to me. So I asked her if she was eating sushi, if she was eating a lot of seafood, and she said no. Then I asked her if she was taking anything that had a lot of iodine. Well, her doctor put her on iodine because she had low iodine. So the breakouts that she got may have been caused by this. So if you are sensitive to iodine, I would probably introduce this slowly and see if you break out, and if you don't, then you can eat just a tiny bit amount of the wakame. And please note that typically when people think of Japanese food, they think of the crunchy rolls, the California rolls, the ones that have the sweet eel sauce. That's all Americanized. So if you see anything that has fried stuff on it, they use a lot of sugars or fried foods, that is not the traditional healthy Japanese diet. And if you are finding this type of information where we include food, nutrition, diet along with skin, then please go ahead and subscribe to us, because remember, makeup is an art, skincare is a science. Go ahead and check out this next video.